Hello dear children, welcome you once again to our class for the lesson The Enemy by Parlor's book. Okay, in the previous class we have seen that Dr. Sadao and his wife who was standing on the veranda happened to meet a man who was just staggering towards their house. And they have seen that he was fallen on his face, and when they went to have a detailed check on the person thinking that he was one of the fishermen, they could see that he was an American prisoner of war, isn't it? And finally, when they realized that he was a prisoner of war, they were unable to take a decision regarding what to do with this man. And there we have seen that they were just making some discussion regarding whether to throw him back to the sea or not. Anyhow, we say that finally, after much confusion, both of them find it impossible to throw the man back to the ocean, isn't it? And maybe because he was wounded, even though that man seems to be their enemy. That means as the story was going on, the war between Japan and America was going on, and this man who belongs to America was considered to be their enemy now. So in this situation, being an enemy, they don't want to take him and give protection, but still then as a person who is bleeding and much wounded, they can't throw him back to sea. So finally, both of them unanimously took one decision, that is to take the man to their house for giving medical assistance. That's where we have stopped in the last class. Then the last line goes like this. Then there is only one thing to do. We must carry him into the house. Okay. So this class we are dealing with the rest half of the text from page number 29. Okay, I'll read it. But the servants, Sadao inquired, we must simply tell them that we intend to give him to the police, as indeed we must, Sadao. We must think of the children and your position. It would be in danger for all of us if we do not give this man over as a prisoner of war. Certainly, Sadao agreed. I would not think of doing anything else. Thus agreed together, they lifted the man. He was very light like a fowl, and that had been half starved for a long time until it is the only feathers and skeleton. So his arms hanging, they carried him up the steps and into the side door of the house. This road opened into a passage, and down the passage they carried the man towards an empty bedroom. So what we see here in these paragraphs is all about some confusion or some fear that just entered into the mind of this Dr. Sadao and his wife. Okay, and Sadao just asking, when they unanimously decided to take this man to their house for giving medical assistance, Sadao immediately asked one question. What is that question? But the servants, they wanted to know how the servants are going to respond to such situation, because you know that these Japanese people are very patriotic towards the country, and they even doesn't know how they are going to respond, isn't it? So now here they decided that we must simply tell them that we intend to give him to the police. Okay, actually our plan is to hand him over to police, but what is the present condition now? Present condition is that he is very weak, he is wounded, he is bleeding, and almost he is dead, isn't it? So this situation, it's not possible to hand it over. And also here it says that as indeed we must, and Sadao says that yes, we need to hand him over to police. Being a enemy, we can't keep him in our house. What is the reason? It would endanger all of us if we did not give this man over as a prisoner of war. It says that if we are not ready to hand over this man to the police, it's going to affect our family life. Especially talking about Dr. Sadao, he is a doctor, isn't it? And here it says that definitely this Dr. Sadao and his family will be in danger if they keep this man even after getting recovered from this critical situation, because you know that now he is fully bleeding, he is critical condition, and he was just mourning, isn't it? Lying there unconscious and all. So he says that let him get recovered from this situation. For the time being, he needed what? Medical emergency. Let's say this to whom? This to the servants. Let's convince the servants by telling that our intention is to hand him over to police, and there are no other options in our side also. If we keep on protecting this person even after overcoming this situation, definitely our life will be in danger for protecting a prisoner of war, a man like this. Okay, and he says that certainly Sadao agreed. I would not think of doing anything else. Dr. Sadao says that, that as a doctor, his always mind will be going just to cure this man, just to save this man from death. So he says that I'm not thinking of doing anything else other than giving what? Giving medical assistance to this man. Okay, and nothing more. He was just thinking all about. Next paragraph says that this agreed. Together they lifted the man. He was very light like a fowl that had been half-starved for a long. So when they planned to take this man towards the house, both Dr. Sadao and his wife took the man to the house, and says that he was so light. Light here means what? He was not having even the weight of a fowl. Who is a fowl? Fowl is it's a cock or a hen. It comes under bird category. So it says that he was so light, or he was weightless like a bird or a hen or a cock. And why he was so seemed so light or weightless? The man here, the line says that he had been half starved for a long time until it's only feathers and skeleton. Now looking at this person, he seems to be like what? Only he has some skin on his body just to cover his skeleton. Okay, likewise, so he may be starving for days. That may be one of the reason why he waits like a fowl. So as they were carrying, he was just thinking about it. And so his arms hanging, they carried him up to the steps and into the door of the house. From there, from in front of the house, they took the man slowly towards their house. And down the passage, they carried the man towards an empty bedroom. So after taking this man, Dr. Sadao and Hannah, they understood that he may be starving for days because he is weightless. Anyhow, they carried the man towards their house and laid him on to an empty bedroom. Okay. So, the next paragraph. It had been the bedroom of Sadao's father, and since his death, it had not been used. They laid the man on the deeply matted floor. Everything there had been Japanese, to please the old man who would never in his own sit on a chair or sleep in a foreign bed. Hannah went to the wall cupboard and slid back a door and took out a soft quilt. He hesitated. The quilt was covered with flowered silk and the lining was pure silk. So in this paragraph, what we see here is, already we have seen that this man was taken to an empty bedroom. Now, whose bedroom was that? It was the bedroom of Sadao's father. Okay, already we have seen that Sadao's father was a highly patriotic person who always wished to see the upliftment of Japan. Even though he sent his son to America for higher studies, but always wanted his country to become the best, isn't it? So such a person's bedroom, even though we see that his father died and gone, but still then after his death, nobody was using this bedroom. And once you have a glimpse of this bedroom, here it says that everything that you see in the bedroom belongs to the things or materials from Japan. That means this Sadao's father was not interested to use any foreign material, even the bed, the clothes, the quilt. Quilt here means bed sheet. Okay, so here we see that he was not using any other things other than which was made by the Japan country. Okay, so that much here Dr. Sadao and his wife was putting everything that belongs to their country in order to please this person, in order to make him happy, to have each and every moment he wanted to have a patriotism in his even looking at the clothes. He may be proud that I am using the clothes made by Japan. I may be using the things, everything in the room belongs or it was made by Japan. Okay, in such a man's room, here we see that Dr. Sadao and his wife placed a foreign person here. See, here the sentence goes like this: everything there had been Japanese to please the old man who never in his own home sit on a chair or sleep in a foreign bed. He doesn't like to have foreign things in his bedroom or in his house. In such a situation, after the death of that person, a person who considered everything to be genuinely made by Japan, here this foreign man or American was laid on whose bed? The bed of Dr. Sadao's father. Now he is no more, but still then, what is that? Finally, here we see that Sadao's father's bedroom was used to, what is that, for putting this man in order to dress him, in order to give him medical assistance. Okay. So even here it says that she together they put or they laid this injured man to this bedroom of Dr. Sadao's father. And from the bedroom we see that Hannah took a soft quilt. What is quilt? Quilt is bedspread, or we say that sheet. Okay. And the quilt was made of silk and had flowery prints on it, and the lining was made of pure silk white. Okay. So anyhow, this quilt also belongs to whom? Dr. Sadao's father. Anyhow, now the foreign man or American is lying on his bed, who was highly patriotic, and he was given the clothes or the things which was once used by Sadao's father. Okay, coming on to next. He is so dirty, he murmured in distress. She murmured in distress. Yes, he had been better be washed. Sadao agreed. If you fetch hot water, I will wash him. Okay. I cannot bear you for to touch him, she said. We shall have to tell the servants is here. I will tell Yumi now. She can leave the children for a few minutes and she can wash him. Let's continue one more paragraph. Sadao considered a moment. Let it be so, he agreed. You tell Yumi and I will tell the others. But the utter pallor of the man's unconscious face moved him first to stoop and feel the pulse. It was faint, but it was there. He put his hands against the man's cold breast. The heart too was yet alive. So what we see in these paragraphs is, now once they took the man and laid him on the bed of Sadao's father's bedroom, Hannah looked at this man to see that he was totally dirty, because you know that he was just coming out of what? Coming out of the ocean. He had fallen on the floor in the sandy place. His body was fully covered up with blood. So he was bleeding. So anyhow, Sadao and Hannah, who was standing beside this man, Hannah said that this man was dirty. So the Dr. Sadao is just asking Hannah to bring what? To fetch means to bring hot water. For what? To wash this person. And Dr. Sadao voluntarily, he himself was getting ready to wash the man. He says that, okay, I will do it. Okay, if you fetch hot water, I will wash him. Wash him here means I'll clean the person. Okay, because he wanted to see what is that injured parts of the body. He wanted to give medicine. You know that how we'll be cleaned once we go to hospital having some wounds or cuts in our body, isn't it? First of all, they will clean the wound. Similarly, here also doctor wanted to wash this man fully, because he was fully soaked up with what? Blood. But when Dr. Sadao said that he was ready to wash this man, Hannah says here, no, I cannot bear you for to touch him. I cannot bear you to touch him, she said. We shall have to tell the servants is here. Says that Hannah suggested that, why can't we just call our servants to wash this person? What is the need of Dr. Sadao washing this man or cleaning this man? I'll just go and ask Yumi to come and clean this person. Okay, Dr. Sadao and admitted. Okay, you may go and call her. Okay, and she says that Yumi, already we have seen that in the first part of lesson, we have seen that Yumi is a character who is looking after the kids. So Hannah suggested that Yumi can come for a while. By the time, let the children be happy and be sure there. Okay, and you need to leave attending the children for a few minutes, and she need to come and wash this person. And Dr. Sadao says that, okay, let it be so. As you wish, let Yumi come and wash this person. By the time, Dr. Sadao says that let it be so. And by the time, I'll tell others. Others here means, others are the other servants, the cook, then the gardener and the helpers other than Yumi. So he says that you go and fetch, you go and call Yumi, and I will tell rest of the servants about the presence of this American in their house. Anyhow, they can't keep it hidden, isn't it? They can't hide the presence of this person from the servants. So it's better that let them just inform them before they could come to know about themselves. Okay, Dr. Sadao says that let me go and inform the rest of the servants about the presence of this man. And before he was about to leave, Dr. Sadao warned, seems like this person is very weak. Already blood was gushing from his body, and we see that Dr. Sadao just covered up or packed the wound with what? We have seen with sea moss, isn't it? So anyhow, before going and informing about the rest of the servants, he just came back and checked the pulse of this man, and it says that, what is the line? It was faint. It says that the pallor of the white man's unconscious fate. Pallor means, what is the meaning of pallor? Pallor means pale appearance. Pale appearance of the person. Already you have learned this word in elementary school, the word pallor. Okay. So here pallor means the pale appearance of the person. So he went there to feel the pulse. The pulse was so feeble, it was so faint, and also he started checking his heartbeat with his hand. Okay, with his hand he started checking the cold breast. Here the heart was too, but yes, yet it was alive. It says that it seemed to be that the heartbeat was also very slow, but the man is alive. Okay, the next paragraph. He will die unless he is operated on, Sadao said, considering the question is whether he will not die anyway. Anna cried out in fear. Don't try to save him. What if he should live? What if he should die? Sadao replied. The man, he stood gazing down to the motionless man. This man might have extraordinary vitality or would have been dead by now. By then he was very young, perhaps not yet 25. You mean die from operation? Hannah asked. Yes, Sadao said. Hannah considered this doubtfully, and when she did not answer, Sadao turned away. At any rate, something must be done with him, he said. And first he must be washed. He went quickly out of the room, and Hannah came behind him. She did not wish to be left alone with the white man. He was the first she had seen since she left America, and now he seemed to have nothing to do with those whom he had known there. Here he was her enemy, Eminence, living or dead. So what we see in these paragraphs here, we see that Dr. Sadao was telling that the man's fate, what is that? Here it says that he will die unless he is operated on. And also we see that the last paragraph that we have seen, when Sadao touched his hands to check the heartbeat of the person, it says that yes, this heartbeat concluded that the injured man was alive, isn't it? Even though his pulse or his pulse rate is very low, but the heartbeat is going and he is alive, isn't it? And now Sadao says that he will die unless he is operated on. And Sadao said, considering the question is whether he will not die anyway. Now here it says that after just feeling the heartbeat of the person and the condition of the man, Dr. Sadao says that if the man was not operated upon, he would surely die. That means emergency operation should be done to this person. And again he says that if he was operated upon and saved, then also he would have to die. Where after getting physically well, or when he just gathers physical stability, Dr. Sadao said that after seeing this man in full energetic level, they are going to hand him over to whom? To the police. So what the police is going to do? Once they get a person like this as a prisoner of war, definitely he was sure that this man will be killed. So that's why Dr. Sadao says that if the man was not operated, he will die. If he was operated and saved also, then also he will die. The second time he will die from in the hands of the police officers. So, and that's where it says that here the line goes like this. What is that? Okay, the question is whether he will not die anyway. So it says that this is a man's fate. Either he will die here or he will die from the hands of the police officers. Either way he would die. Okay, then immediately after hearing this, Hannah says that, oh, don't try to save him. What if he should live? Okay, if he dies, then what is the use of saving this man? Okay, if we save this man, we are going to be in danger, because they are now keeping whom? They are keeping enemy in their house. So Hannah says that if he is going to die anyways, better let him die. Why you are now taking risk to save the life of this person? Okay, definitely his recovery may put us into danger for keeping a white man in the house. Even though the servants, if we tell them also, I don't think that they will be standing with us. Sometimes they may go and inform. Anyhow, this person is going to be a great danger for our life. So Hannah says that don't try to save him. What if he should leave? What is the consequence if he leaves? If he leaves, it's going to be a great danger for our life. Okay? And now, Sadao is asking, what if he should die? The man, he stood gazing down on the motionless man. This man might have extraordinary vitality or he would have been dead by now. Now here it says that Dr. Sadao says that what if he die? If he die here means die while I am operating upon this man. And he was looking at this person telling that I think that this man has extraordinary vitality. What is vitality? Vitality means energy or life. Otherwise, I am sure that by this time he would have died. Okay? And now hearing this Hannah was again just doubtful regarding what manner of death that Dr. Sadao was just talking all about. And Dr. Sadao says that he was a very young man, maybe is around 25 years of age. Okay? And Hannah is just putting the question whether the man would die during operation or not. She wanted to make it sure whether this man will die while Dr. Sadao was going to operate upon this man. And Dr. Sadao said, yes, I'm just talking about the death of this man may occur when I operate him. Okay? Then Hannah considered this doubtfully, and when she did not answer, Sadao turned away. At any rate, something must be done with him, he said. And first he must be washed. He went quickly out of the room. Hannah came behind. She did not wish to left alone with the white man. He was the first and seen him after she left America. So already we have read this in the initial paragraph. Here we see that now Dr. Sadao, after telling that he should be operated, and at any cost Dr. Sadao wanted to operate this man whether he died during operation or not. And now he is getting ready to bring hot water to inform the presence of this man to the rest of the servants in the house. And after discussing about operating this man, Dr. Sadao and Hannah left the room. Actually, when Dr. Sadao left the room, Hannah doesn't want to be alone there. And she says that this is the first time that she sees an American after she left where? Left America. And here again she says that whatever be, she never wished to stand alone with this man in this room. And she always wanted to see an American as her enemy, whether he is dead or alive. From these lines we can understand that this Hannah is also highly patriotic towards her country. Even though she feels pity and sympathy upon this American who was badly wounded, but still then that what is that instigation of being a Japanese just instilled in her, and that is not allowing her to stand alone in a room where this American was lying. So right after Sadao went out of the room, she also joined him. Actually, Dr. Sadao went out of the room just to inform the rest of the servants the presence of this American in their house. Along with that, this Hannah also went, and she wanted to call whom? She wanted to call Yumi. Yumi from where? From nursery. Nursery here means from the room where Sadao's and Hannah's children were lying. And Yumi is the caretaker of this small children. So Hannah went to call Yumi their servants. Okay. So the next paragraph, let's continue. She turned to the nursery and called Yumi. But the children heard her voice and she had to go in for a moment and smile at them and play with the baby boy, now nearly 3 months old. Over the baby's soft black hair, she motioned with her mouth, Yumi, come with me. I'll put the baby to bed. Yumi replied, "He is ready." She went with Yumi into the bedroom next to the nursery and stood with the boy in her arms while Yumi spread the sleeping quilts on the floor and laid the baby between them. So what happens here is, already we have seen that when Dr. Sadao went out to call and to inform the servants about the presence of this white man in their house, Yumi also was being called by Hannah. Okay, Hannah went to the children's room to call Yumi. And when she went there, the children always like to be with their parents, especially with the mother. Okay, and Yumi was with the kids. And when Hannah went inside, these little children saw this Hannah and they wanted to spend some time with Hannah. Hannah also entered inside the room, took the baby in her hands, started smiling to the baby, started playing with the baby. And also, that how mothers used to do when they have the children on the hand, isn't it? Here also same thing happens. She took the baby in her hand and she started motioning her, or she started patting the baby, okay, on his black hair. And by the time as she was just cradling the baby, she just informed Yumi, okay, Yumi to come with her. Okay, I'll come. I'll put the baby to bed. Okay, let me put the baby to bed. He is ready. He is ready here means he is ready for sleeping. By the time that this 3-month-old baby was about to sleep, she immediately prepared the bed on the floor. She put the bed or that the pillows all over the room, and she arranged the bed. And what happened? She laid the baby between them. Between them here means she laid the baby between the pillows or the bed, and not to say that it won't roll. It's only 3 months baby, 3 months old baby, isn't it? And she immediately laid the bed, and Hannah left the room with Yumi. Okay, Hannah already gave information, or already said her giving information that she need to come along with Hannah. Okay, then what happened? Then Hannah led the way quickly and softly to the kitchen. The 2 servants were frightened at what the master had just told them. The old gardener, who was also a house servant, pulled the few hairs on his upper lip. And the master ought not to heal the wound of the white man, he said bluntly to Hannah. The white man ought to die. First he was shot, then the sea caught him and wounded him with her rocks. If the master heals the gun did what the gun did and what the sea did, they will take revenge on us. Now, here we see that as Dr. Sadao and Hannah planned, Hannah went to call whom? Hannah went to call Yumi. And after calling Yumi, Hannah and Yumi straight away went to the kitchen. And by the time you see that the servants who were standing in the kitchen looked so frightened. You know why? Already Dr. Sadao informed that in their house there is a white man or an American is there in their house. Hearing about the presence of an enemy, definitely these people who are very patriotic towards the country, they seems that they are against the master's wish for keeping the white man in their house. That's why here we see that these servants who didn't approve the action done by Dr. Sadao, here we see that one of the person or one of the servant pulled the few hairs on his upper lip. What is that? And here we see that here the news which was given by the doctor was not a good one. And this man was just thinking over what the master said. Who is the master? Master is Dr. Sadao. So as he was thinking, he was just plucking some of the hairs of his upper lip, bird. Okay. And he was just pulling it from his upper lip. And what he said after seeing this Hannah, what he said, and here we see that actually this servants was of the opinion that the doctor shouldn't have served this person. And actually they doesn't wanted this Dr. Sadao to serve this person. That's why here he says that the master ought not heal the wound of this white man. And he is expressing his deepest, what is the dissatisfaction of this man in their house by plucking the hairs of his upper lip. And he is of the opinion that the white man should die. Why? Here it says that he said bluntly to Hannah. Bluntly means in a straightforward manner, without shortcut or without hiding anything. What is that? Here he says that straight away he is telling Hannah when she came to kitchen with Yumi, this gardener, he was also the house servant, and he is straightforward telling the matter to Hannah that man should die. And there is no need for the master to save the man from death. And here for that he is giving the excuse or justification that first he was shot. First of all, this man was shot by a gun. And next what happened? Then the sea caught him. Okay? And wounded him with her rocks. Here we see that this man is going so superstitious, telling that if the master heals what the gun did and what the sea did, they will take revenge upon him. Okay? He believed that the rock and the gun would take revenge against the doctor for saving the life of the soldier whom they wounded. Who are the whom here? Whom is the gun as well as the spikes of the rock. So the gardener is of the opinion that no, our master should not save this person because first of all he was wounded by the gun, and secondly the spikes of the rock also wounded him. So definitely if the doctor tried to heal this person, this gun and this rock would take revenge upon us. Okay? So this is what this person just talks about, this reaction as a reaction to the news given by doctor. Okay? And here we see that the gun represents whom? Gun represents the Japanese army. Okay? And the sea represents whom? Sea represents the country of Japan. So what here this gardener says that as the army of Japan shooted this man, and the land of Japan also wounded this man with the rock spikes. So anyhow, it seems so superstitious, and this man says that definitely they will take revenge upon us. Okay? And this gardener was trying to say that if you are trying to save a man where the army of Japan and the land of Japan wounded, definitely you are going to pay for this. Okay? And they would be punished by whom? If you treat an enemy, if you make an enemy get healed, definitely they would, or this house will be punished by the Japanese. Okay? So, and now he straightforward tells this to whom? Tells this to this Hannah. In another sense, we see that sometimes he may not think about this gun and sea as what? As Japanese army or the land of Japan. But there can be one option that this man was highly superstitious also. There are two options. One is he was just talking about the gun and the spikes of the rock as the Japanese army and the land of Japan. Otherwise, we can say that this man may be superstitious, telling that the gun and rock will take revenge upon the doctor for saving the life of the soldier. Then, what is the reply given by Hannah? I will tell him what you say, Hannah replied courteously. But she herself was also frightened. Although she was not superstitious as the old man was, nevertheless, she told Yumi to fetch the hot water and bring it to the room where the white man was. So what happened here is Hannah very politely was trying to console the servants by telling that yes, definitely I'll convey the message that you have given to me. To whom? To your master. Master here is the Dr. Sadao. Okay, I'll tell him. And here we see that she was frightened by hearing this. She doesn't know whether he is just talking about the Japanese army and Japanese land, or the Japanese people who is going to what? Who is going to punish these people. Even this gardener, even the servants of this house are what? They are Japanese, and they are very patriotic towards the nation. And definitely there is one chance that sometimes these people can just inform the police officers about the presence of this man, isn't it? And anyhow, Hannah was also frightened, but she was not superstitious like the old man who said that the gun and the rock will take revenge upon whom? Revenge upon the doctor who is going to save the life. Okay? Here we see that Hannah was asking this Yumi to fetch. Fetch means what? To bring hot water to the white man's room. For what? Earlier we have seen that she wanted Yumi to clean the man because he was full of dirt. Okay. Then we see that Hannah, after telling this, she wanted Yumi to clean the room. She went ahead and slid back the partition. Sadao was not yet there. Yumi, following, put down her wooden bucket. She then went over to the white man. When she saw him, her thick lips folded themselves into stubbornness. I have never washed a white man, she said, and I will not wash so dirty a one now. Hannah pried at her severely. You will do what your master commands you. There was so fierce a look of resistance upon Yumi's round, dull face that Hannah felt unreasonably afraid. After all, if the servants should report something that was not as it happened. Okay. Now, see that Hannah just moves towards the room where the white man was lying. Okay. Then what we see here is Hannah went inside first and moved the partition to one side. She reached the room of the white man with Yumi. Okay. When Yumi entered the room, when Yumi happened to see the man who was lying on the bed, what was her facial expression? It's changed. Here it says that she saw the white man, her thick lips folded, and the expression of her face indicated that she is well determined. What is that? Well determined, and she honestly conveyed one thing. What is that? She said firmly that she had never washed a white man. She will not wash a white man, and she will never do it also. Okay? Till this time, she had never washed a white man. And she is not going to wash a white man, and she will never ever do it also. In cut and right manner, who says this? Yumi says this to Hannah. And she says that, again she says that, I am not ready to wash a dirty and injured enemy. Who is the enemy here? The white man who lies in the bed of Dr. Sadao's father. Okay? She would never wash one who was as dirty as this injured man. And moreover, Yumi very clearly understood that no, this man is not a man that belongs to our country. He is an American. He is an enemy of us, all of us now. So she says that I never washed a man. I am not going to wash, and I will never wash it. Then, what was then Hannah's response? Hannah is trying to threaten Yumi. Hannah cried at her severely. You will do what your master commands you. Here, Hannah is trying to make Yumi obey her orders because she is the mistress of the house and Yumi is the servant. So she says that you are the servant of this house. You are obliged to obey what your mistress says. Mistress or master here means the mistress. Okay. So, and now Hannah reacted to Yumi's refusal. Okay. But we see that Yumi was stubborn enough to stand on her view or on her determined decision. What was her decision? That I will never wash an American. Okay. And now, when Hannah threatens Yumi, what is that? Yumi gave Hannah a furious and threatening look as if something else is going to happen in this house. When Hannah saw that Yumi was just giving a threatening look, Hannah was frightened at the sight of Yumi's silent reaction. Okay. So what happened? Here it says that there was so fierce a look of resistance. Fierce means what? There was so dangerous look of resistance upon Yumi's round, dull face that Hannah felt unreasonably afraid. What is it? Hannah was also frightened at the sight of Yumi's look. Okay? And what is that? Actually, Hannah is giving a look of what? Order to Yumi. And Yumi in return gave what? A protest look, telling once again or trying to convince this mistress that I am not going to do even if you order me. Okay. So, and anyhow, when Hannah saw this look of Yumi, she was pretty sure that something different is going to happen. Okay? And sometimes they will land in what? Land in great trouble. Okay? That's what it says, that after all, if the servants should report something that was not happened. And what is that? Here she says that Yumi, when she had a protesting look that scared Hannah, she was worried that if the servants reported something different from what they actually happened. What actually happened? The only concern of Dr. Sadao and Hannah was to give treatment to this person. And servants may misunderstand that they might have got a sympathy towards this white man because once in a while this Hannah and Dr. Sadao was in America. So they can't predict what was in their mind. That's why this last line says that after all, if the servants should report something that was not as it happened. Okay? And she worried that if the servants reported something different from what had happened, then definitely this Hannah and Dr. Sadao would land into trouble. Okay? So, this is what just going through the mind of Hannah when Yumi gave a threatening look. Okay, next paragraph. Very well, she said with dignity. You understand, we only want to bring him to senses so that we can turn him over as a prisoner. I will have nothing to do with this. Yumi said, I am a poor person and it is not my business. Then please, Hannah said gently, return to your own work. At once, Yumi left the room, but this left Hannah with the white man alone. She might have been too afraid to stay had not her anger against Yumi's stubbornness now sustained her. Okay? So what happens here is, when Yumi very clearly said that, yes, I am not ready. Okay? Hannah is trying to convince this Yumi's refusal by telling that their intention is only to save the man from death and thereafter to hand him over to the police. That's why it says that very well. Here it says that you understand, we only want to bring him to senses. Bring him to senses means to bring him back to cautious mind, because he is lying there unconscious. At any moment he may die. So first of all, let us bring him back to what? Conscious mind. And once he comes back to life, let's hand him over to whom? To the police, or as a prisoner of war. That is what our intention is all about. And there is no need for Yumi to have a threatening look at Yumi. But whatever that Hannah was trying to convince Yumi, Yumi was not ready to accept. She is of the opinion that she is a poor lady. Actually, her business is not to watch this man. And it says that this is not my business. I will have nothing to do with. Yumi said, I am a poor person and it is not my business. That means her duty in this house is not to wash an American, but to look after the children. And here, as a servant, she says that as a Japanese lady, she says that I am not ready to do what all things said by the mistress. I have given a job. I will do that. And seeing that this is an American, she says that this is not my business here. And she has nothing to do with this man. Who is the man here? This enemy. She is not ready to take any duty with regard to this man who is considered to be the enemy of the country. That's why she says that she has nothing to do with the enemy of the country. Okay? And Yumi very clearly expressed that she will never wash a man, especially who is the enemy of the country. And we see that when Hannah heard this from Yumi, then what was the response given by Hannah? Then please, Hannah said, return to your own work. Okay then, if you are not ready, there is no need to give any explanation. You can leave the room. Thus, we see that Yumi left the room silently. Back to where? Back to children. Okay? Now, we see that at once Yumi left the house, but this left Hannah with the white man alone. She might have been too afraid to stay had not her anger at Yumi's stubbornness now sustained there. When Yumi left the room, who was only in the room here? Only Hannah was in the white man's room. Actually, we see that she was afraid to stand here. Earlier, when Dr. Sadao left the room, she also left the room with the intention that let me go and call Yumi. Now she was standing alone. She wanted to leave this room. But Hannah's anger on Yumi's protest made her stay in the room with the white man. She thinks that no, I am not going to move from this room. Okay? And she determined. Yumi's firm determination made this Hannah stay here in this room. Otherwise, she also might have left the room. Already we have seen that Hannah says that whether he be a sick or a dead person, an American is always an enemy for Hannah. But this time, even though he is an enemy, why she stays there is because of the anger shown by Hannah towards Yumi's protest for not washing this man. She was standing there. Okay? Then, the next paragraph. Stupid Yumi, she muttered fiercely. Is this anything but a man? And a wounded, helpless man. In the conviction of her own superiority, she bent impulsively and untied the knotted rugs that kept the white man covered. When she had his breast bare, she dipped the small clean towel that Yumi had brought into the steaming hot water and washed his face carefully. The man's skin, though rough with exposure, was of a fine texture and must have been very blonde when he was a child. So what happens here is when she was standing alone in the room, okay, Hannah said with anger that Yumi was a stupid person. Why? Because looking the condition of this man, she thinks that why can't that Yumi think at least that this is a human being? And moreover, he is an injured person other than considering this person as her enemy. So she says that stupid Yumi. Why can't she see this man as a helpless person rather than considering him as her enemy? Then what happened? Hannah slowly opened the rugs of the man. Rugs of the man here means the covering of the man or the blanket in which the man was covered. Slowly she removed the cloth. She wanted to wash this person, clean this person. Okay? Already we have seen that Yumi got the hot water in a wooden bucket. Okay? She dipped the towel and she started cleaning the man's breast. So, the chest first. Then, Hannah took a small clean towel. She dipped in the steaming hot water. Then, washed his face. Then, the man's skin was. Then, we see that she started rubbing all over the body. And by the time we see that his face was, as she was just washing or cleaning the face, she thinks that yes, this face was rough because of what? Because of expose. What is that exposure? Exposure means exposed to the sun. For 2, 3 or 4, 5 days he was wandering in the sun. Isn't it? Under the sun, the hot sun. And he just somehow managed to come in front of the house. So here it says that his face, here Hannah is thinking that his face was rough because of the sun exposure or sun tan. And she imagined that this man's skin was, what is that? He had a good texture and he must be having very fair as a child. Okay? She is imagining the blonde texture. Blonde texture here means, what is that? The smooth texture of these Americans. And she thinks that definitely this man might have been very fair as a small child. Okay? Then, while she was thinking these thoughts, not really liking the man better now that he was no longer a child, she kept on washing him until his upper body was quite clean. But she dared not turn him over. Where was Sadao? Now her anger was ebbing and she was anxious again, and she rose, wiping her hands on the wrong towel. Then, lest this man be chilled, she put the quilt over him. So, as we see that she started rubbing this person, cleaning this person, she started thinking that how this man would be looking when he was a very small boy. because he has got a very good texture, smooth texture, okay, skin, okay. And here we see that as she was thinking likewise, she becomes so troublesome when she saw that this man was not a small boy now. He was lying there as a, what is that, matured person, isn't it? So anyhow she continued washing this man all his upper body, okay. When as she was just cleaning, she did not have the courage to turn this man over. She wanted to rub, or she wanted to clean the next side of the man. She wanted to turn this man to the other side, but she is not feeling comfortable, and she started thinking that, whoa, that Sadao, whoa, he went, okay. And she wanted, she started having, her anchor started ebbing. Ebbing means increasing, okay. Slowly she started becoming so restless, and her anchor was increasing. In between, she thought of Sadao, and she was standing there. Anyhow, she wanted to clean this person. She thought that I am not going to get the help of Yumi. I am not going to call Yumi. Anyhow, let me clean myself. Somehow she controlled her temper, and she started cleaning this person. But she is not ready to turn this man over, okay. And slowly and steadily, we see that she find somehow pitiful towards this man, because as she was cleaning, that already he lost much of his blood from the body, and when he was just exposed to the cold season outside or climate, definitely he'll get shivering, okay. So once she saw this man chilling in this cold weather, she thought of covering the body with the quilt, and she doesn't have the courage to turn this man to clean the other side, okay. And she did not want the man to freeze due to the cold weather, so she put the quilt on the body of the man. Quilt, what is quilt? Quilt is the bed sheet, okay, bed sheet or covering to put on a man, okay. So she doesn't wanted this man to get freeze or cold due to the chilling weather outside, so she put the quilt on him, and she waited for Dr. Sadao, okay. Sadao she called softly, because she doesn't want to continue standing there anymore. She wanted the help of Dr. Sadao to wipe or to clean the man. After completing cleaning one side, we see that she, as her mental situation is different, she is so tense, she is so anchored, confused. Unknowingly, she wiped her hand in a wrong towel. Maybe the cloth of the man, or maybe the towel in which she used to wash this man. Anyhow, she wiped her hand in a wrong towel, and she felt pity for the man. She covered this man with the quilt, and she waited for Dr. Sadao, okay. So this is for today's class. God bless you all. Thank you. Have a great day.